More than a year later, and by a completely different route, we found ourselves closing up on where we had aimed for. We had such a good sail today. We made almost 6 knots by average, and we even had to take our main down because we were a little bit overpowered even with our second reef. But now we're doing a little bit more than 6 knots with the Genoa, and we are approaching where we intend to stop, which might be our last stop in Spain. I'm starting to look forward to get there. We are about to drop the anchor, so I'm getting ready. Spain spared nothing on our last sunset here this windy evening. We are getting ready to leave for France. It's not very far, it's about 5 miles to the French border, but we're gonna sail a little bit further than that. And it's very calm in the anchorage, so we're gonna hoist our main directly and sail out of here, which is always nice to not run the engine and burn some diesel. Gonna need to jibe out. That went really smooth, except for that I had to turn the other way from what I thought, so we had to jibe. But I mean, it's very light winds, so it was fairly easy. We should do this more often. Yes. We haven't seen dolphins in a very long time now, and we thought it might be because it was a lot warmer in the water. We had between 28 and 32 degrees in the water, and we thought it might be it. And now the water temperature just over 2 days, I think, dropped to 23, and now we saw dolphins again. So not sure if it's really because of that, but it's still interesting. But they are not so playful as the dolphins that we saw in the Atlantic. They just come up and maybe dive once or twice, but they are not playing around with the boat. But still, it's dolphins. I instantly like being back in France for 2 main reasons. We get a dock with catways instead of mooring lines, which I so much more prefer. And the sanitaries has hair dryers. There's something that Spain is lacking completely. So I hope this will continue in France with catways and hair dryers, and I'm gonna stay very happy. But also, it's like fall has arrived. As soon as we went from August to September, it went so much colder. The water temperature has dropped, I think, 8 degrees. It's cloudy, it's windy, you have like a sweater on. But I hope we get some more summer heat, because when we had spring, it went from really cold to super hot in just a few days, and now in just 3 days it went from 35 degrees, super hot, to wearing sweaters. The marina was superb, but our first stop was more or less just to sleep. But our next stop, Kazan, was worth a day of motoring. We are going to the city there, but it's a long pier and a long entrance to this town, so we have about 20 minutes to the entrance of the pier, and then I think another 20 minutes to actually come into the town. And we've been motoring all day, so we're really longing to get there by now, but it's not so long left. It's a very shallow entrance to this port, so we need to be a bit careful. It's a small anchorage here also, but we heard you're not allowed to stay at night, so it makes no good for us because the water is not super clean, so it's not a place you want to have a swim either. This is pretty. Another lovely place with catways. I so much enjoy being back in France. The harbors are really large. This is another section of the port.
Ice cream.
Despite having a port that can accommodate over 1,500 boats, Kazan is a small town with only around 5,000 people. The location is surrounded by salt pans and scrubland where a lot of birds thrive, and we spotted a few flamingos in the evening light as we walked towards the labyrinth streets around the castle. Some say it's one of the most beautiful cities of France, and it might well be. We are about to pass Cap d'Agde, which has a fort outside on an island, and there is supposed to be mooring buoys on the north side there that is free to use. So we were really excited to try that out, but we can see already from here that the swell is not going to work, and we are a little bit uncertain if you can actually stay overnight on those buoys, because we heard both. So we are going to continue to set, which is another 2 hours. Set is one of the places we could potentially have arrived the Mediterranean more than a year ago if we would not have been stuck with too little water last year at the French canals of the inland waterways. Even if we would have aimed for the Port St. Louis a little further, but somehow it felt like we finally were in the area of where we were meant to come. How many extra miles it took us to get here? Over 2,000. The heart of the city has a network of small canals with lots of fisher boats, and I believe the right phrase would be the little Venice of Languedoc. I really like what we've seen of this town so far. It's not as small as the other places we've been. I think it's around 45,000 people living here, and you can feel it's a little bit of more of a real town. And it's called something Venice of something I cannot pronounce in French, but it has a lot of small canals. I hope you enjoyed following us here, and if you liked this episode, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.